So, my name's Andrew Swanson, and I'm the mechanical engineer that developed Canoe and Cafe before that. And we have the Goddard team has another instrument in this campaign. It's just ROSE, the Rapid Ozone Experiment. So my job is primarily just to interact with the scientists, and they tell me their mission objectives, and I try and work with them and figure out technical ways that we can go about achieving those. So everything here is, well, all the external components, the mechanical stuff is from scratch. And I kind of came up with a concept in my mind, and I put that together and coordinated with fabricators, machinists, sheet metal shops, and came up with a design and then drawings, and then went back and forth with the fabricators and had these things developed. Our team is pretty small. We have about 6 or 8 people in our lab. It changes through the years. So we have a technician right now, but predominantly, I designed this and I oversaw production, and then I assembled it myself. And then once everything is assembled, then I work with the aircraft ops engineers to get things integrated. Everything from the chassis to the integrating supporting angles, and then the inlet I had developed. And then there's certain certifications that we have to achieve along the way, just to make it useful, or to pass the clearance level to get on this airplane. So yeah, that's pretty much what I do.
Yeah, well, when a scientist asks you, when they're like, I want to do this.
Yes.
Are you instantly thinking, oh yeah, I can make it this, or do this, I can do it this way? Or are you thinking, oh my gosh, you want what?
There's a lot of back and forth. And so Tom Hanisco is the senior scientist of our lab at Goddard Space Flight Center. And he has experience, before he was at Goddard, he was at Harvard. And so he has experience with that group. And he would propose some ideas, and it was a back and forth, and I'd shoot ideas off of him, and we'd kind of come to a conclusion on what we thought was the best route of achieving things.
Are there times that as a scientist comes to you and they want something and it's just really not possible?
Yes, there are definitely times that I personally feel like we can't do that. And then again, there would be more back and forth on what the best accommodations we can do to try and meet their goals at the very least.
Okay. Now, in your background, you're a mechanical engineer, right?
That is correct, yes.
Now, I'm guessing every team here, because there's all these different instruments, do
yes.
They all most likely have some sort of mechanical engineer?
At some point along the line, yes, they all do. And electrical engineers, and software engineers, and systems engineers. Sometimes there's some overlap between the systems engineer and other engineering practices, but generally every team has their own. So we have a software engineer / systems engineer, and he's a civil servant back at Goddard Space Flight Center. He doesn't go in the field, so he's approaching retirement age, and he just prefers not to do field campaigns. So, and then the rest of us, the scientists, I'm the mechanical guy, and then we're primarily, the interns, we're primarily responsible for integrating things and overseeing campaigns. So I don't, the science behind this, I have some understanding, but I often ask the scientists to explain things and clarify for me. So I'm able to go in the field and help. There's some things that I don't know, which I have to reach out to them for. But right now we're spread kind of thin. We have 3 campaigns going on simultaneously. We have a Blue Flux campaign, which is down in Florida, the Everglades. We have the ACLIP campaign, which is, the integration is in Texas, and then the campaign is actually in South Korea. And then we have this campaign. So we're not all in the field simultaneously, but we're really, at some points we are, I guess. We're really spread thin. So that's part of the reason why I'm here. I prefer to be like the software engineer and just back at Goddard all year long, but got to help out here and there.
So have you had to, after a flight, that something didn't work the way they thought it would, did they then come and like, hey, we need you to do this, and where you did you have to scurry and before the next flight and try to change?
Oh yeah, oh yeah, and I mean, both on the actual measurement of the species that we're measuring and the more accoutrements to those measurements, like thermal issues we would have problems, pressure issues we would have problems, and then it's helpful for me to be in the field and to help them modify it in place rather than outsourcing, doing a Teams meeting back and forth to Maryland, to Goddard Space Flight Center.